Athol Fugard had some acting experiences when he started playwriting, and almost all of his plays were set in South Africa, and he brought in all of the different politics, apartheid or now post-apartheid.
Apartheid was the system of forced racial segregation in South Africa. It was a government policy that was instituted in the early 20th century and was the law of the land there all the way up until the 1990s. In the story, the characters live under apartheid, and with apartheid, it was similar to how things were here in the States, in the South, up until the 1950s and 60s in the Civil Rights Movement, except it was a lot worse because, for example, black South Africans didn't even have the right to being South African citizens. So you couldn't get a passport, you couldn't own land, you couldn't have a skilled trade job. That's how apartheid dealt with race relations. And so not only were blacks and whites not allowed to live together, but blacks who were hugely in the majority there, were basically forced to live in camps and townships, they called them. And it was the system under which the characters in the play and even the real people they're based on lived.
Fugard started working in the 1950s with a group of actors in Johannesburg, including Zakes Mokai, who was the original Sam in Master Harold and the Boys. In the 1960s, Athol Fugard returned to Port Elizabeth, which is where Master Harold and the Boys is set, to start his own theater company. Now, it was called the Serpent Players, since because of the apartheid, the black and white actors were not allowed to work together, so they had to hide out their performances in the former snake pit of the local zoo.
In this story, the characters, even though they're very familiar, they know each other and in fact love each other. The apartheid is kind of the elephant in the room, and through the course of the story, people who up until that point never thought of each other in that context suddenly have to deal with apartheid and the system of racial segregation and hate and bigotry in this play. Okay, I'm going to actually take this back to the bottom of 58 if you're not careful. You ready? If you're not careful, Master Harold, you're going to be sitting up there by yourself for a long time, and there won't be a kite in the sky.
It's bad. It's all bad in here now.
Will you lock up for me and look after the case?
You know, let's try something. I am curious about what it would sound like if you deliver that line. It's all bad in here. Less statement of fact and much more sad, and basically almost to the point of whimpering because you're heartbroken about all this stuff too. I just want to hear how that sounds. Let's just try it again. We'll go back in the same spot. Okay. If you're not careful, Master Harold, you're going to be sitting up there by yourself for a long time to come, and there won't be a kite in the sky.
It's bad. It's all bad in here now.
Billy, will you lock up for me and look after the case?
Okay, good.
Yeah, I like that better. Let's stick with that. I don't know if you noticed it, but that when you add that element there of him being able to tell what the devastation for you, for what you've just witnessed, totally changes the feel on how he's coming back on you with that. That's a keeper. Let's lock that in. That's for sure.
I play Master Harold, or Hallie, and Hallie is a 17-year-old white South African boy growing up in Port Elizabeth, and he's growing up with a father who is disabled and also an alcoholic, and he's emotionally distant from Hallie, so that plays a toll on him, and he almost finds a new family in the waiters that work in his mother's tea room.
So I get to play Sam in the play, and Sam's character is really something. Sam is a black South African servant who works for Master Harold or Hallie's mother in her tea shop in the St. George's Park tea room. And for many years, Sam has been kind of a surrogate father to Hallie and has been, teaching him and learning from him. Hallie's kind of his tutor, and Hallie comes home from school and teaches Sam the stuff he learned in school that day, and he's sort of educating Sam. and Sam is educating Hallie on just life and growing up, and they're more than just friends. They're almost kind of like father and son. And one of the things that's special to me about that relationship is knowing that that probably happened for thousands and thousands and thousands of people living in that regime, you know, whether it be a servant or neighbors or people who, because of the system, aren't supposed to be friends or aren't supposed to break that barrier, that wall, were probably very significant in each other's lives. And in Sam's case, he sees some of the things that Hallie's going through with his dysfunctional relationship with his father, and he wants very much to help. But as the story progresses, you see that all of a sudden the racial thing sort of comes into play, and knowing that this is to a large extent autobiographical, again, it gives me an extra or a special sense of responsibility to the piece and to the character to do this justice, as I know that this is all based upon a real person with a real life and a real story that involved Hallie.
I play the character of Willie. He's an intense character with some sharp contrasts. Very demanding, does not like to be joked about, but he has recently become passionate about ballroom dancing. So Willie has some personal barriers in his life that are hindering his progression with his dancing, and you know, he's working with Sam to try and get past those things. While Willie is, like I said, an extreme character, he seems to come off kind of vain. He ends up being the voice of reason. What this piece is about is the dance of life. You'll see the topics of racism, injustice, and friendship. Through it all, there's a great need for reconciliation, for us to effectively communicate and evolve as a human race. We all just need to learn the steps. It's the dance of life.
I'm really honored to be able to work with such an amazing cast and crew. You know, Shaun Evans as a director is one of the best in San Diego, certainly the best I've ever worked with. And you know, any chance I get to work with him as a teacher and a director is a truly wonderful experience for me, as I know it is for everybody else in the cast. You know, I've worked with Austin a lot, and he's a really close personal friend of mine. And you know, any chance I get to really work with him on a project as closely as we have been is really just a wonderful experience.
So this production is the fruit of a collaboration between a new theater company, Living Light Theater, which is Austin Myers' theater company. And I know most San Diegans know who Austin Myers is, but for those of you who don't, he is a young actor who is from here, but has done some really huge things in his career. He's only 16, but already he's been on Broadway and in Hollywood and done some, you know, really significant roles in some of the bigger professional theaters here in San Diego, like the Old Globe. Well, his company, Living Light Theater, is partnering with my group, CYC Theater, to produce Master Harold and the Boys. So basically, we are serving as the fiscal sponsor, and I'm helping with the production side of it. And Austin Myers is getting a chance now to work as a producer, and so not just acting on stage in the play, but he's also doing some of the things that producers have to do. And this collaboration is really special because I've been working with Austin Myers as a fellow actor and also as a teacher for many years, and now we're working, you know, on an equal platform as co-producers of a professional play. And it's neat for me because, you know, he's actually one of the better actors I've ever worked with, and in this show, it's an amazing role that he's playing, and it's an amazing role for him because he captures the essence of Hallie so perfectly, and so it's kind of a big responsibility to have to play Sam opposite him. And so, you know, we're both producing and we're both acting in it, and that mix. That collaboration is producing a pretty amazing piece of theater, if you ask me. I mean, of course, what am I going to say? But I think it's shaping up to be a really astonishing show.
Well, I've been really blessed with a bunch of different opportunities to work in professional projects, and it's just given me a love for every aspect of theater. From what goes on stage to what goes on backstage, every part of it is just so magical. So it's really a dream come true to be able to have a Living Light Theater. Because with that, it's my own company. I can I can produce all the different shows that are amazing but are never done enough. Like Master Harold and the Boys, which is opening May 11th at the Lyceum Theatre. Don't miss it!